here. I'm here today to do another Top 5 Wednesday. I am back, guys. Grad school is almost over. Student teaching is almost over, so I will be giving you guys a lot more content. And hopefully now that I have my co-blogger, Sarah, we will be giving you a lot more content the next coming semester and month. So I'm really excited about that. But the theme this week is your top 5 characters that belong on the naughty list. If you have paid attention to any of my videos, these characters will be of no shock to you, but I wanted to give my reasons for putting these characters on the naughty list, even though some are just kind of obvious. It is no shock to anyone if you have read the Harry Potter series, but it's Lord Voldemort, who is ironically my second favorite villain in the Harry Potter series, and I will get to my first favorite villain next. But when I was a young kid, Voldemort creeped me out, and I think his plan for mass world domination is very, very creepy and scary and very, very intense. I think when I started reading the series, Voldemort reminded me a lot of Hitler, and there are a lot of World War II analogies and stuff like that. Sometimes with the blood cleansing and stuff like that. But he's definitely a creepy villain, and I don't think anyone has ever loved him, so I think he definitely belongs on that list, and I think he just has so many evil things that he does, and so many things that he causes people to do, and I think that's why Voldemort to me is such a vindictive villain, because not only does he do these heinous actions, but he also convinces others to do these heinous actions, like the Death Eaters and what they have done. So to me, that is why Voldemort belongs on the naughty list. Not only is he a very, very vindictive villain, but he is also super evil, and he also is just dangerous. And very, very maniacal, almost like sociopathic at moments. But as a kid, he was probably the villain that I was scared of the most. And he is also one of the, I think J.K. Rowling draws him very well, because you also do learn about his past, and some moments you might even feel sympathy for Lord Voldemort, or Tom Riddle as the case may be, but by the end of book 7, you just want him to go down. And I won't spoil what happens to Lord Voldemort, because I know some of my followers have not read the last book yet. But I just wanted to say that he definitely belongs on the naughty list, if you did not know that already. Character who belongs on the naughty list is another character from Harry Potter who remains to this day one of the best villains I have ever read, and that is Umbridge from book 5 of Harry Potter. She is just evil. There is no other word to describe Umbridge but evil. And I think she is so well drawn. And I recently read book 5 in connection. I recently read book 5 due to the Alohomora readathon that I've been following and reading. And in the current political climate, Umbridge, just reading about Umbridge in the world we are in now, there is so many like comparisons and ideologies that I can make that just makes when she was drawn all these years ago so much more like insightful, and like, oh my god, how did J.K. Rowling craft this character when now we have people like this? But she is just, I think the scenes that creep me out the most is, if you have not read book 5, fast forward like till the end of this because I don't want to spoil anyone. But when she made Harry write his, right, I will not tell lies on his hands. That is like one of the most cruelest punishments. But she's also just very she's just very, very vindictive. And I think anything she does, and her focus on not having the truth heard, is something that I hate. Like, I love logic and I love facts, and if you try to suppress logic and facts, I'm gonna have a severe issue with you, and it's totally, totally accurate. But Umbridge remains one of the villains that I still, to this day, cannot read without throwing her across the room. I think the first time I read book 5, I think I tossed the book across the room so many times because she infuriated me to no end. And that, rereading book 5 has always been hard for me because I really struggled with her as a character, but she is just, the things she does to the students and to the school and to Harry still just really, I don't like. So she definitely belongs on the naughty list. If you do not think Umbridge belongs on the naughty list, we need to have a chat. But those are the reasons why I think she belongs on the naughty list. belongs on the naughty list is Queen Lavanna from the Cinder series, or the Lumiere Chronicle series by Marissa Meyer. And it's funny because I really do not like this character. She is another villain that I literally have limited to no sympathy for. And I remember in the series, I really did not like her. And then we heard we were going to get the book Fairest, which is basically her backstory. And I remember really being super hesitant to read it because I did not want to like her. I did not want to feel sympathy for her. I did not want to like her. So I forced myself to read Fairest. And it was a really good decision because the book did not paint her in a positive light. It gave, what led to her becoming it, but it gave no, backgrounds. A lot of time when I read villain, backstories, when Marissa Meyer did the Heartless book series, I really thought that was a well-drawn story, and I actually really liked the main character in that. But this one, I just had no sympathy for her. And I think she is just, again, a very cruel leader. And I think it's just so interesting to have a cruel leader, a cruel female leader. I think you don't get that a lot. And actually, most of these characters on this are female, which maybe has something about my reading habits. But then you have all of these other females really trying to usurp her. And I thought that that was a really interesting dynamic. But she is, again, a very, very vicious character. She's a very, very vicious character. That's a good word to describe her. But also just seeing in the past how she interacted with all of these heroes, I thought was really, really interesting. And I think that the book Cinder, you really get a really good look at her, and I think that it's just by the end I'm just so ready for her to go down. Again, I won't spoil the ending, but I think it was definitely a villain that I think belongs on the naughty list. So about is the Commandant from Ember in the Ashes, which is Elias's mother. Again, she is a very vicious and bloodthirsty character. She's also, very much a strategic, but she's also super vicious. And I think her whole goal is to train her son to be vicious. And it's so interesting watching her. I would love eventually to get a book, a chapter from her point of view, because I think that she'd be interesting, scary to get inside her son, but also fascinating to get inside her head. So I also I just love seeing how she affects the world, but also how she affects or influences her son. I think she's, again, a very, very vicious and bloodthirsty character, but I also just think that has so much stuff in her life that caused her to be this way, so I'd be really interested to get more of her backstory. I know we got a little bit in the second book, which I'm going to have to reread, but I thought she was a very, very strong, vicious character, and she creeped me out. Again, I get creeped out by scary female characters, and she definitely fit that bill. But overall, I was just really impressed with how she was drawn and how Sabaa Tahir crafted her. And I really liked watching her interaction with her son and to see how she treated her son in some of those moments. But overall, I really, really, I wouldn't say I liked her character, but I enjoyed reading about her. So, say that. And the last character I'm going to talk about is Maven from the Red Queen series. I will admit, I fell hook, line, and sinker for Maven in book 1, and I was devastated at the twist in book 1 when it was revealed what a psychopath he was. So I will admit, he definitely is a psychopath, and I think towards the end of Red Queen, you really, really get that acknowledgement. But Glass Sword, he's just cruel and bloodthirsty, and he's a really, really, really good villain. I haven't read King's Cage yet. Hopefully I'm going to read it in 2018. Glass Sword was a little bit slow, and I think I got a little bit fell off the track a little bit, but I've heard really good things about King's Cage, so I really want to read it. But again, he's just such a vicious and bloodthirsty character, so he definitely belongs on the naughty list. These are just a couple of characters that I think belong on my naughty list. Let me know in the comments what characters you think belong on the naughty list if I haven't named them, and let me know why in the comments. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!